here we have this differential equation, dy by dx plus 3x squared y equals 1 over e to the x cubed. All right. Now, the hint here is that you use the integrating factor. So I want you to pause the video and write it down and work it out. So go ahead. Okay, you finished? Alright, so what did you get? So remember, I don't want you to just watch my working it out. You should practice, you should make a genuine attempt at it. And then you watch the video only if you're finished or if you get stuck somewhere and despite all your effort you can't move forward, then you watch the video. When you watch me reach that stage and you find yourself on track again, pause and continue and work it out. But do your work, your own work, as much as you can. Don't just sit and watch me working it out. All right, you must do as much as of your own work as you can do. So here now, generally, you know that when a differential equation is written or can be written in the form dy by dx plus py equal q, then you use the integrating factor method. The integrating factor is e to the integral of p dx. Alright? In our case, what is p? Well, it's p times y, and we have 3x squared times y, so our p is 3x squared. So it's e to the integral of 3x squared dx. Alright? What's the integral of 3x squared? You have to work it out. Now, if you have been practicing your integration by substitution, you can see it mentally. But let's work it out. The integral of 3x squared dx. Dx means, just reminding you, it means that x is a variable, the variable here that you're dealing with. Other things you see, any other letter it represent constant numbers. All right. Now, here, this would be 3 integral of x squared dx. Now, using the power rule, this is 3 times x to the 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1, which is 3x cubed over 3, and they cancel. So it's just x cubed left. All right. So it is x cubed. So the integrating factor is e to the x cubed. Next thing, you multiply by the integrating factor. The integrating factor e to the x cubed. So you have e to the x cubed times dy by dx plus e to the x cubed times 3x squared y times 3x squared times 3x squared y equals, so you have e to the x cubed times 1 over e to the x cubed. 1 over e to the x cubed. Alright. Now over here, this is the result from using the product rule to differentiate a product. Alright? I said dy by x is dy by dx here. Alright, so the thing is, what is the product? What you did was found the derivative with respect to x of a product. What is that product? Alright. Remember the product rule. What the product rule say? You have u times v as a product. U and v are functions of x, and you're differentiating with respect to x equal. You hold u as it is times dv by dx. Differentiate v plus you hold v as it is times du by dx. You differentiate u. Alright? So basically you have two functions multiplied and you differentiate them. Hold the first function times differentiate the second, plus hold the second function times differentiate the first. Alright? So what is a function? It seems like right here you differentiate y with respect to x. This is dy by dx. And here you hold y. So one of them is y. What is the other? Here you hold e to the x squared. You hold e to the x cubed. So it seems as if the next one is e to the x cubed. But what will you get if you differentiate e to the x cubed? Well, you get 3x squared times e to the x cubed, which is this. Well, now that we said that, let's see how that goes. Let's work it out. Let's find some space over here to work it out. We had worked this out before. We don't want to take it on faith. Let us look at e to the x cubed. Let us say y is equal to e to the x cubed. We're going to use substitution since we have a function of a function. So use the chain rule. The chain rule say dy by dx equal dy by du. That's one link in the chain times the second link in the chain du by dx. And notice it's like the du cancel the u, leaving the dy over the dx, right? Dy by dx. But what is u? Let u be equal to x cubed. That means you would have y equal e to the u. Alright? Now, from this, u equal x cubed. What is the u by dx? It would be 3x squared, right? So this is from the u. What about the y? Let's differentiate this. dy by du would be, when you differentiate e to the u, you get e to the u. Alright. So, what happened here? dy by du would be e to the u times the u by dx. If you put it here, you get 3x squared. So you get e to the u. But what is e to the u? Oh no. Yeah. What is u again? U is x cubed, so it's e to the x cubed times 3x squared. You see? See that I wasn't lying? E to the x cubed. When you differentiate e to the x cubed, you get 3x squared e to the x cubed. 3x squared e to the x cubed. You have it right here. Right? So that came from the product rule. Alright. Now, so we have d by dx of y e to the x cube, that's the product, is equal to what was on the right hand side again? Okay, e to the x cube times 1 over e to the x cube. 1 over e to the x cube. Hold on, but guess what? This will be e to the x cube, cancel e to the x cube, you know. So it's 1. You have 1 over there. So you have d by dx of y e to the x cube equals 1. You see that? The next step now is to integrate. Alright? Integrate. We have the integral of d by dx of y e to the x cube equal the integral of 1 dx. Oh, dx should come here to show that x is the thing there, the variable. When you put dx, it means that x is the variable. If you see any other letters there, those are constants. Alright? You say y equals something, you differentiate a function dx, it means x is the variable. If you see ax in it, a is a number. Alright? A constant. And you treat it as such, as a constant. Alright, so let's see what happened here. You integrating a derivative. It's as if the integral and derivative just cancel out each other, leaving the number undisturbed. It's like you're saying the square root of x squared. The square and square root cancel each other, leaving x alone, undisturbed. Alright, so what you have is y e to the x cube equal, when you integrate 1 with respect to x, you get x. And then you put your constant of integration here, right? Now, note, remember, in the thing here, when you had integrated this, you didn't put a constant of integration, you leave it out, right? This is one situation where you leave your constant of integration out. Or you can consider assuming it is 0. Now, you have your constant of integration here, you have to put this one. Divide both sides by e to the x cube. You have y equal x over e to the x cube, right? You have just x here, x over e to the x cube plus c over e to the x cube. Alright, so let's review quickly. We have this thing there, our first order differential equation. Generally, dy by dx plus dy equal q. Use the integrating factor, where the integrating factor is e to the integral of p dx. And we saw that p is 3x squared. And when you integrate 3x squared, you get x cubed. So it's e to the x cubed. You multiply by the integrating factor each times e to the x cubed. You carefully look here to see what the product was, because this would happen anytime you are doing an integration by integrating using the integrating factor. You get something that resulted from a product rule. It's now for you to figure out what that product would have been. You need to differentiate a product to get this. What was the product? We saw that it is y e to the x cube. Alright? Now, that's why the derivative of y e to the x cube is equal to, I have the right hand side here, but these cancel out to leave 1. You integrate both sides, you have the integral of y e to the x cube equal integral of 1 dx. So, you have y e to the x cube equal x plus c. Divide both sides by e to the x cube, we get x over e to the x cube and plus e plus c over e to the x cube. Now, suppose you are given an initial condition, right? Suppose y of 0 is equal to negative 1. So that means when x is 0, y is negative 1. What you get is negative 1 is equal to x is 0, 0 over e to the 0, which is 1, 0 over 1, plus c over e to the 0 is 1. So c is negative 1. So the solution that you will get is y equal x over e to the x cube minus 1 over e to the x cube. Alright? Which you can write as y equal 1 over e to the x cube x minus 1. So that's one way you could write the solution there. Alright? So that's it. I'll see you in the next video.